We are Brightside Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast. The Home Theater Podcast, it's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
You know, when I came up with that, I didn't do it thinking I was going to have like 3 people in the show and it would work out perfectly like that. I'm like, it's just, everything happens for a reason, right, guys?
It's fortuitous.
Yeah, it does sound weird though when you're listening to it back when you haven't been on that particular show, that episode, and you hear yourself.
Right.
It's just very sort of discombobulating.
Yeah.
You kind of feel really detached from yourself. It's very odd.
That hasn't happened to me yet, but
yeah.
Well, it's a matter of time.
I went
the night is young.
A couple months that way, so
yeah, that's true too. Like, did I do that?
Yeah. Was I on that show?
Although I have listened back, especially back when John and I were doing chat, and I've listened back and been like, I said what?
Yeah.
What? I'm like, I
frequently
don't remember
forget
that
what I
conversation.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Just I don't usually forget whether I was there or not.
Only after a very heavy night the night before.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing tops the Hate Bread Productions though.
Yeah.
Where have I heard that? Well, hey. Oh, our globally known production company.
That's right.
Quotation fingers.
DJ, I think DJ, the people that are going to be listening to this, hopefully on Friday, the audio only people.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize just how much this week in particular they are missing out, because the sheer majesty of what you're sporting on your top lip is a sight to behold, DJ.
Well, it's a bit handlebar too.
Yeah, it comes down
it's a bit 70s, kind of movie.
I wasn't sure if it was just the light or
no. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, really looking.
Well, it is Movember, and I've been growing this since September.
It's the 19th of November.
Yeah, exactly. The 19th of November. Yeah, happy birthday. So but yeah, it's it is doing its job, garnering the comments. Be like, what? Like, yeah, it's like, if you're like, that's all you can do. I love when people say that. It's all I'm trying.
Right. It's not like I can work out for it. Like I can't,
right.
I can't train or do anything.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Steve, when you started talking, I was like, I immediately went to our pictures for today. You're like, oh,
I was looking around
today.
I was looking at all around, like, what's different?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, what did I do? What do we got here?
Oh man, no. Yeah. I just want to know: did you deliver the pizza? And if you did, what happened thereafter? And then did you fix the plumbing?
Yeah,
that's the other thing I need to know.
Was there payment?
Did they have enough money to pay for the pizza?
John, you delivered pizzas, right? Yep.
No.
I thought you did. Did down in Dartmouth.
No, never.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, well, I remember.
Well, this week, apparently.
Yeah. I always had the cash, so.
Yeah.
I made sure.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't band camp, John. It was...
Oh, now he's showing us in profile. Now, look, see, now he's just
for the love of God! Wow, this show went so fast, way too fast. Yeah.
I'm just thinking next week you'll have wax in it. It'll be up like that, kind of be able to twirl it.
Jerk dastardly.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh man. Right. Should we say hi to everyone in the chat?
Thank you for noticing. Yes, please.
But everyone listening on Friday in the future, do yourselves a favor. Go to YouTube and have a quick look at what DJ's supporting. Very cool. There we go. Look at that. See,
up close and personal. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. It's there. It's real.
It's not all gray, you know.
No, it's
Yeah.
no.
No.
That's the thing. Very cool. Very cool.
There
Right.
is
Okay.
gray,
So,
but I'm blonde, so it's hidden well.
Yeah.
so we'll say hi to Mikey, who's in the chat, who was first in at
I'm the
5:23
first
my
question
time.
mark. He says,
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's good that he's first, so we can apologize for the oblique references we're making to certain adult movies. If he's
Yeah.
having dinner with his kids. Sorry, Mike.
It was oblique right until you named what they were. Nobody knew that.
Hey, I did not
All
say
we were
Debbie Does
talking about
Dallas.
was pizza and
No,
plumbing,
you just
really.
said the adult part. Like, yeah.
And, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It could be anything that's adult.
Yeah.
Then we got TSG's in. Hiya, TSG. He's the local boy as always. Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom. Nelson's in. Hey, Nelson. Good to see you. Steve At's in. Jordan's in. Holger's in. Hi, guys. And we've got Rach, I know, dropped in. Scruffy's in. And yeah, Greg, the awesome ninja's in, saying keep pushing.
Is he? I haven't seen him.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what
scrolling.
that.
There he is. Keep pushing.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
And Paul Hertz obviously in as well. So yeah, hi guys. Hello.
Yeah.
Some very good stuff to talk about tonight.
Yes.
And something not quite so good.
Uh-oh. Well, before we get to that, we got something really good.
Oh, cool.
We got a update, hot off the presses. Here we are. What's that?
Hey, Steve. I mean, John.
Hey,
John.
Steve.
Sorry.
Say my name. What the hell is that?
Ooh. Yes,
Yeah,
right. I've just seen what you got. Okay.
All right. So hot off the presses, we know Paul Hurd has donated the Lawrence of Arabia 4K disc with the original artwork that he is coming up with, unique or one of a kind artwork. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words today. These what you're seeing on the screen right now is just the examples that he was going to be using to design his what do you call it, jewel case artwork. Here we go. This is the rough version, boys. Look at that.
Yeah,
Isn't that nice?
Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for the audio only people, go to YouTube. No, I'm not going to describe it
again.
No. Yeah, exactly. No, it's how would you describe that? It's like the German artwork from before, and he transferred it there. And he's got the logo up at the top. It's the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray case, Lawrence of Arabia translated into English as opposed to the what is that, German? Like we said,
Yeah.
So that's the front. Whoops, sorry about that. That's the front of the case, side view. Yeah, he's going all out. I mean, this looks professional, and it is like one of a kind.
I'm disappointed.
Why?
Because where's the one without faces on it?
I know.
One that's got who was the camel? We never decided.
There's the two camels right there. So
yeah. It was going to be the camel.
That's me and Deej.
Yeah, this. Well, I thought that was you and Steve and the donkey pulling up the rear.
Yeah, we know who the donkey is. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, that's the back of the case. Inside, here you go. So,
hey, man, that looks awesome. It looks very professionally done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the discs are the actual discs, though, aren't they? He hasn't done the discs.
The discs. I don't think he did anything. Whoops. The discs are the discs, and but yeah, I think they are. I would never put anything past Paul. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I don't remember the discs off the top of my head because I won't. Yeah. But yeah, so there's the back of it, and then back to the front again. So yeah, the spine looks really good. Great job, Paul. And he just texted me, and he's like, check your email, because we were just getting on the show, and I'm like, okay. And I look, and he said in the text, he goes, this is just the rough version. What? Wow. Like, can I take that copy, please?
Yeah,
I'll take the rough. But yeah.
So Paul says, I wish I could change the discs. There you go. Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well done, Paul. Yeah, but still, very cool. It is cool. But, come on, Paul. I want to be a camel. Or at the very least, I quite like it. Either I think it'd be quite fun.
Well, I was thinking maybe a monochromatic.
And there is space here, as you said. There is space there. Look, see? There's space for another poster there.
There you go. Yeah, the poster. But I was thinking...
Although, look, if Paul wants to change all the discs, all the ones we own, and put our faces on them, we're not going to complain about those either, are we?
Well, these are one of a kind, right? And it's for the charity. So maybe a little note in the bottom, the Movember, hashtag Movember, and on the spine, a monochromatic bright side logo.
Dude,
What do you think?
I like it. Yeah, I'm there.
And that
I'm
way
there.
you'll know why you did it and what you got. So just a hint, Paul. Sorry, buddy. I mean,
Now that you finished,
I know you did all this work for free out of the goodness of your own heart, but
no,
if you could
It
see your
looks
way to
awesome.
doing more work,
Yeah. Well, welcome to our world, right, guys?
Yeah.
I love your show, but could you do 5 days a week?
yeah.
there we go. We've got live feedback from Paul here as well.
Okay. Yep.
saying-
I'll drop something
I'll
in
drop-
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
fair play.
Thanks,
Good
buddy.
man.
That's funny. You don't have to. I was just kidding. That's awesome.
No, he does.
No, I love
Come
the
on.
limited. He's got the limited edition. He put the whole anniversary 4K digital restoration, and he's got all the on top of the original artwork that he created, his original artwork. So great job. So yeah, that's the latest edition of prizes that we have. Let me see if I can get to what we had. What else we're giving away for Movember? So obviously, I'll throw that up there for Ryan Davey. That's an old graphic. He's up over 2,500 last I saw. But please go to Ryan Davey. Links are all in the show notes. Go to his site or donate through us through Boxes of Popcorn, which I've gotten more this week. Thank you to everybody. We'll be doing that. At the end of the month, we'll do that with Eddie, and we'll do the drawing for the Ava. Not Ara, the Ava Cinema Remote. We have 2 of them to give away. $10 for each raffle, or just, for free. You just let me know you want to be in on it. That gets you one. Every $10 you donate through the month will get you another entry into the cinema remote, one of the cinema remotes, or, and you can see here on the graphics, if you're watching if you're listening on Friday, audio only, go to YouTube. And for the graphics, but you're seeing a dynamic keypad, and let's go to the SVS SB 1000 Pro. Also, $10 gets you entered into that, and just let me know through email how much you want dedicated to each, and we'll set up the raffles for each of that. Thanks to SVS for that. And then also Eddie's, any $50 automatically just gets you a 10% discount on Kaleidoscape through Eddie, and these giveaways are all through United States only, unfortunately. So we forget to mention that earlier. So, but I keep doing that now. So, but yeah, so we've got a few entries already, hoping that it really picks up. We have this week, and then next week's the last show before the end of the month, before Thanksgiving, and then it is the following Tuesday would be the show that we would do after Thanksgiving. Oh, so that would be the Takeover Tuesday where we would do it. So get your entries in. So, all right. How was that, John? Did I do good?
Perfect.
All right.
Smooth.
Thank you. Smooth. There you go. Smooth like butter. All right. Let's see. But yes, in regards to your comments, Steve, I am getting a lot of comments about this. They're like about my
which is what it's all about.
mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Whether you make fun of it, you want to compliment me on it, tell me I look ridiculous, tell me I look other things that sound ridiculous, whatever. Last night, the guys in the room, I have like 6 guys on my hockey team that are firefighters. They're like, "Hey, you look like a firefighter." I'm like, "Finally, I always wanted to be one." Thanks.
There is something about it, isn't it? About the East Coast firefighters, police officers, public servants. The mustache thing is very East Coast, isn't it? I remember that from when I was there. It is. It's one of those. It's one of those cliches that is accurate. It's
but
not
they
one of
did
those...
it in Backdraft. A lot of the guys did it in Backdraft, and that was Chicago. I think it's I think it's more blue collar, and it's like the East Coast firefighter and like East Coast blue collar, East Coast. It's just that just like and when you see me in my frame, and you're like, you don't think of me in my frame and go, you think, ooh, he must run fast.
Well, that's a sensible thing to do away from a fire, anyway. In fairness, No, as John knows, the problem is my frame doesn't look like and
it should be like run like a gazelle from danger. And no, DJ runs into it and gets his butt kicked. It's like, so not so good.
Yeah, oh man, no, it's good. I mean, I was sorely tempted to grow one myself, but unfortunately, the lawyers have done it before, and they got a lot of telling off from judges and stuff who said,
Really?
Whilst
but
it
even
might be
for
a
a
good
cause, though.
well, that's it. Oh yeah. Even
Really?
some old school judges say, even for a good cause, you must remember where you are. You're in a court of law, and you must always be presentable as such.
You can't get a powdered beard and mustache.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. No, they won't. They just quite. I mean, this has been commented on at times.
Just a peek way behind the curtain here. This was a while ago when we were first getting Steve on, and we were talking to him. John's like, he's a lawyer. We got to ask him about that wig thing.
About the wig, I remember. I remember you asking. Yeah.
I had to know.
It's like the most interesting thing. You're like, oh my god, we've got inside information on the wig.
Yeah, the hell with the movies and all the other stuff.
Exactly.
It's like, I want to know about the wig.
You really
unfortunately,
do that?
I don't. Yeah, I don't, because I'm a solicitor, so
Did you say
a lawyer.
Unfortunately?
Well, no. Well, I need one, obviously. Just don't have one. But the it's barristers in the more senior courts that wear them. Yeah, exactly that. So although we deal with 98% of all criminal cases in the magistrates' court where I am, nevertheless they still we don't do that in the magistrates, but the Crown they do. And in the Crown Court, they every now and then they're given a choice. They do a little mini referendum of the barristers and say, do you really want this still? It's all a bit old school and a bit passé. And they love it.
Yeah, I was saying, they probably
theatrical. Oh my gosh. Whereas I couldn't stand it. It would drive me crazy. I just
love the thought of like
rubbish.
there being a powdered wig store that you can go to.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They are handmade from horsehair.
Yeah.
And they cost thousands.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of course they do.
And they come in little wig tins, and the tins are monogrammed and all that stuff. And so you'll see barristers wandering around with their little tin under their hand.
Right.
It's just nonsense.
I mean, you think about it over here. It's a sign of respect too, right? And it's like, oh, I get to wear this. It's like, think over here and what we have, and you'd be like, what other occupation would you be like? I can't wait to grow up and wear a black muumuu. Yeah, big black dresses for me. That's what I want. You're like, but when you call it a robe, a judge's robe, you're like, don't mess with this guy.
Right.
Like, and it's like, nowhere else in life do you get to wear that and be like, guy coming to fix your plumbing and who walks in a black muumuu, you're like, right. I shouldn't have used the yellow pages.
No, the judges here, they're just not just the wig. They are gowned in all kinds of different finery, and it depends on what level of seniority of judge as well. So recorders wear one thing, circuit judges wear something else, and you've got sashes and you've got different, different gowns and everything else. It's all nonsense.
But it's history. Like, we don't have anything here. Like, there's nothing here.
We got history, John. It just ain't good.
We got history.
But there's nothing here that that we still keep those traditions or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I get that, and I mean this cool. Respectfully. That's what I mean. Yeah, there's definitely an American fascination with the old school kind of way we've done things in the past. But those of us who kind of rebel against this traditional nonsense when it has no modern necessity, and there's a reason I didn't become a barrister, and that's one of them. I just thought it's too much. It's just not me as a person. You talk about blue collar deeds. That's how I feel as a person. I rebel against all that stuff, that kind of finery, and so I just couldn't do it. They'll do a thing where barristers belong to what are called chambers. Chambers are the kind of the office they work out of. And you have to sing a special chambers song and all this kind of bollocks. Anyway, that's a low level swear word. I just can't. It's nonsense. It really is. But I get that you guys are fascinated by it, which I think is both endearing and sweet all at the same time. But when you deal with it day to day,
I was going to say, like John said, he's like, we don't have that stuff over here. We don't. I mean, our history is so short, relatively speaking.
And our institutions are nothing to be proud of.
No, actually, I was going to say the opposite. The reason we don't have any of that is because everybody comes from everywhere. They bring their traditions here, so we have them all. Like different people from different parts of the world come here and celebrate their traditions here, but it's not a national thing. It's an individual thing. And that's the idea of the melting pot. So like, how are we going to have one tradition? Because the idea of coming here was you don't have to have one.
Right.
So that's our tradition. No traditions. Or teach his own.
But like I said, and if you guys come over, and John, if you come, I will take you to the Crown Court and you can see all the stuff going on.
Are you going to buy me a wig?
Well, you don't need one as much as I do, Deej. If anyone's buying a wig, it's me. So you can wait your turn. We'll share it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Together.
Move it around.
Man. I'll tell you, the wife would love it. So I'll take you up on it for sure.
Hey man, you come over. You guys can come and see it. And the other thing is, they will love it. Okay, so you go up to a barrister here as an American.
Oh yeah,
and you'll go, oh look at that, that's incredible. They will fall all over themselves.
Eat it up
to show you. Oh god, they will love it. Yeah, so you won't be short of people willing to talk about it. That's for sure.
That's great.
Knowing many of them as I do.
So, do we want to open with this one?
If we want to start on a low and move high.
I heard different. So
here we go.
I haven't seen it though. So
okay. I thought you did.
Go on.
No, but I heard
it out
different.
of the way.
Yeah.
All right, let's come in hot, and then we'll everything else is uphill from there. All right, here we go.
Okay. So this is
I think that was the very first ever, like, Steve, I don't want to be here. Oh,
tell us how you really feel, Steve.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's not the Fifth Element.
People on the audio only right now are like, what?
What is he on about? Okay, so this then is Gladiator II, the sequel. This time it's personal. And it's not got a tagline, it needs one.
Was it in 3D?
Yeah. This means war. Okay, so Gladiator 2. All right, now hopefully we may talk about another film a little bit later that relates to this. But anyway, so Gladiator 2. Now, I personally, as I said on the 25-hour show, I think Gladiator is a masterpiece, the first one, and is for me. And I know this sounds stupid even as I say it, but I still believe it. I think it's one of the best films of the 21st century so far. I love Gladiator and in ways that are most unnatural.
No, same.
And I've seen it many times, and it's beautiful. And again, might talk something similar in a bit. So when I heard there was a sequel coming, I was both excited and a little bit anxious as well, because it doesn't need a sequel. And all of us have heard the rumors over the years of all these kind of fantastical scripts circulating. There was a script that was completed, I am told, by a writer that had Maximus go to hell and then come back from hell to sort of wreak vengeance on ancient Rome. And I just thought that sounded quite good.
Yeah.
That's kind of metal. It's like a sort of gladiator version of the Crow.
It's very, very Greek mythology too.
Yeah, well, indeed. Yeah. So anyway, so they've been and gone over the last 20 years, and now we've got this. So I went to the cinema last Friday to see it. Had a horrendous evening in the build up to it. Long story, won't bore you with it. But I get in there, I see it at a decent cinema with the reclining chairs. Really nice cinema. Video wise looked really good. In fact, it almost looked like HFR. It was hyper real, which was interesting because it's not HFR. I did check. So it's hyper real in terms of how it looked, but the sound was awful. All right, and I need to make that clear. The sound was terrible. It was all front focused. There was no surround sound in this movie in when I saw it. So I have to preface it with that. So it's first viewing, crap audio, but decent video. And I watched the film.
Can I ask you quick? How is that cinema usually for audio? Do you think it's the cinema or the track that it's the
cinema. It's the cinema.
Okay.
Normally the cinema's good. This one, I saw Twisters there, and and I've seen, I've seen another film since this there as well, and that sounded great. So I think it was just the cinema. No. It'll be the cinema. It'll be the cinema, DJ. I haven't seen a film in that screen since this, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's a 12-screen theater, so
okay.
I imagine that it'll be the screen.
Okay.
But I'm not blaming Gladiator because Ridley Scott, if anything else, I mean, he knows how to do a sound mix. Okay, so I saw the film, and as it went on and on, I got more and more concerned. This film plays like a theatrical cut of a much longer movie. It felt like Kingdom of Heaven to me. There are multiple times in this film that, as in when I say Kingdom of Heaven, the theatrical version versus the director's cut, which of course is also by Ridley Scott. Because the problem with this film is multiple times in this movie, sequences build towards emotion where something happens to a character and another character, and there should be some emotion there. And just as you get into that point, it cuts and moves on to the next thing. And it happens multiple times. And there is a big character death, and I'm obviously not spoiling it. There's a character death in this that should mean a lot to another character. And literally the two walk up to one another and then it cuts away and the character's somewhere else entirely. And it's like, what is going on? And it happens again and again. Now, Ridley Scott has said this is his cut, but he said that before. And we've then had things like Kingdom of Heaven. I mean, you can't watch the theatrical version of Kingdom of Heaven. It makes no sense. The director's cut's fantastic. So I'm only judging this on the theatrical version. It's disappointing, to say the least. And I'm sorry to say, for me, Paul Mescal, who's the guy on the left in that picture there, is no Russell Crowe. I think he's been miscast quite woefully in this. And the action scenes, there's nothing in this that betters the tiger fight in the first one. There's nothing in this that beats the Germania battle scene at the beginning. And there's nothing in this as emotional as the Commodus Maximus fight at the end because of the personal stakes involved, which there is at no point in this movie are the stakes that personal ever. So it just kind of came and it went, and I was left feeling very flat at the end of it. I am going to buy the 4K disc. I will see it again. I want to see it again. I don't hate it. I just was disappointed by it.
Yeah.
And so I need to. It was one of those things. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. And so I need. Yeah, exactly. See, isn't it? So I am disappointed by it, and I now know where John Thompson was coming from when he said. I mean, he said it was rubbish. I don't think it's rubbish. I just think it's disappointing, and it's not a patch on the first one. And if anything,
John, the way I do, I feel like he's a black and white type of guy.
Yeah,
right. Right.
Yeah,
There's no like disappointed. It was disappointed. I'll do it. It's like, if it isn't great, it's rubbish. It's like,
quite.
But I like that because he can back it up. He knows what he's talking about. And he knows exactly why. He's like, nope, it ain't great. If it ain't great, I don't want it.
Well, he's also got some unique behind the scenes perspectives as well, because he knows all the people involved in this personally. And so I think he knows more than we do about it. So I was disappointed. And if this is a public service, I suppose the idea here is, if I say it's not that great, hopefully you'll go in with adjusted expectations and you might really enjoy it. Like
joke a couple ducks. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow a duck. Absolutely.
Yeah, follow a duck.
Don't upset Dom. He's in the chat. Don't upset him. He's told us how to say it now.
It's so much easier for me to just make fun of it than try to butcher it.
Quite.
Like,
and the duck.
I mean? Like, he tried and failed miserably. It's just easier to fail miserably.
Just to give it up from the beginning.
Like, look, he ain't even trying.
Oh yeah. So I nothing makes me more unhappy to report that it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. But as I said, I will definitely see it again. It should look very good in 4K. It should sound way better than the cinema that I saw it in, because this one will have some surround speakers, hopefully, on the 4K disc. And so it didn't for a movie in which there is a flooded Colosseum. This film didn't float my boat. But anyway, there we go.
Geez. So
did you think of that? I swear.
Let's. I think this is going to go along the lines of what John would probably comment on, because he says he's heard otherwise.
Well, I heard it from Jordan.
Of course, our on the scene bright side correspondent, always bringing the positive. Jordan Carpenter comes in with, I personally had a great time with Gladiator II on X Plus. I know quite a few people that really enjoyed it as well. You can definitely see the supposed $310 million budget on the screen. And I would say to that, I mean, I agree. I mean, I can see having a good time with it. It sounds even, Steve, like, is it possible that if you did have that great surround experience, maybe you wouldn't have been as disappointed as much because you would have been just that much more engaged? Because it's funny that, like, where everything's across the front of the room, you're saying it didn't have the dynamics around you, and then your comment on the movie as a whole was flat. Which is what the audio was, right? And you see how like that all goes hand in hand. I mean, a great story can be a great story. You're right. But I think a great story on a sequel like Gladiator, you're coming in at a low. I mean, how do you top that? How do you bring another story that's going to equal that? But at the same time, if you can get the full experience, like it sounds like Jordan did, it's probably going to make, it doesn't even say here, like Jordan's not even saying like it's a great movie. He's like, I had a great time. Right. The overall experience, it sounds like it was a good time. And it's like, you know, it sounds a little bit, even your review, Steve, sounds positive.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't hate it. If that's positive, then that's positive.
There you go.
But and look, I'm sure it will be better second time around because of, like I said, it'll definitely be a better experience of that. You know, I have no doubt. But but the problems with the structure, the problem with the scenes, the lead actor being entirely inappropriate for the film, really. And again, I spoke to John earlier today, who gave me a very interesting behind the scenes tidbit, but I better not share that because he's been talking to the makeup lady. But I won't say what she said. I'm sure it will be better, but it's just not what it could and hopefully should have been. And I think there were mistakes made in this. If they can fix it with the director's cut, I'm all ears for that. Ridley knows his director's cuts. Is that Ridley?
Yeah, Jordan's also, I didn't remember this. He said, Jordan also says in the introduction, Ridley Scott did for the first Gladiator film, he called the theatrical cut his director's cut, yet he still did the extended cut. So it's, you know, that's hopeful.
Fingers crossed. I really do hope that he does, because there are some obvious cuts here. There are some obvious scenes that have been edited for whatever reason, and it's to the film's detriment. But there we go. You know, as I said, a lot of people do like it. I'm not. You know, I just call it how I see it.
Steve, not everything can be Transformers. Right?
True.
I mean, you can't all come in with a movie like that. So
or Evil Dead Rise.
Exactly. Thank God, not everything can be Evil Dead Rise. Always gonna go back to there. A couple of comments here in the chat that I'd like to get to is Michael Doughty, out of Raleigh, North Carolina, said earlier, good evening from Raleigh, North Carolina, but throwing a little shade my way. He's like, Bruins had a hard time yesterday, didn't they, DJ? He's like, and then he said, 2 shorthanded goals against y'all. And I was like, yeah, I heard about that. I was actually on the ice when they were playing. I played last night. And I heard about it after the fact. I was like, oh, well. I was like, hey, you can't win them all. But yeah. And then we have, this is good, Greg the Awesome Ninja, Greg, my son-in-law. He grew his, if you saw in the 25-hour chat, he already had his full mustache. And he's like, Meg told me I can't wear my long coat due to my stash. Like, you're already creepy enough. So...
And I think what we all know on this show is you don't upset Meg. She will dig your grave.
Oh, yeah. So, do not upset the Meg. That is for sure. It's like, I've gone a few rounds with her. And it ain't good. It's like, yeah. You know, you get to that point when you're like raising your kids where you're like, they get to, like, you've instilled a little bit of respect/fear early on. And then you get to that point later in life where you go, I wonder when they're going to figure out that there's really nothing I can do to them. And then, like, that was like when she was like 10. Like, I'm screwed. Yeah. She got to push some buttons. Back in the chat. Yes, sir.
Yes,
all right. What do we got?
Do you want to just quickly do the other side to that, DJ? I can do that really quick if you like, just because then we can get those two out of the way.
Where did it go?
Down further, down in the middle.
Oh, right there, right under it.
All right. You want to just quickly, I'll do it quick, just because it gets it. They dovetail then, don't they? Otherwise.
Oh, yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, sorry, John. Just super quick. We'll just get this out of the way.
Dude, no worries. I'm fine.
Okay.
Take a pee break, John.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right, so this is okay. See, much happier. Okay, this time.
Let me take. Actually,
Greg's down.
Yeah, let me take. Where is it? I can't even find. There it is.
Up there somewhere.
I got it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is then Gladiator, that aforementioned movie from 2000. And I watched this.
Those of you just tuning in.
Yeah, for those of you tuning in, yes. See earlier comments.
Spit all over my face.
It's so last Wednesday afternoon, it was my birthday. I had a couple of hours free. Well, actually, no, nearly 3 hours free because you need it for this. I thought, right, I am knowing that on the Friday I was going to see Gladiator II. I sat down and I screened this again in Cinema George for the first time in Cinema George, and this was the extended cut. Hence there is the little bit at the beginning with Ridley Scott saying this is not his preferred cut, but it is a cut. And I watched this, and this film is still every bit as powerful and fantastic as it has ever been. And it was an absolute pleasure, as it should be on your birthday, to sit and just wallow in this world. It is awesome. It is the first time, though, that I have seen this version in its entirety. I bought it when it came out ages ago. Just never had time to sit down with 3 hours to really wallow in it. And of course, this is in 4K DTS X as well. So 4K HDR, the whole works. And DTS X seems to be becoming a rarity these days. So it was nice to have that. It looks stunning. It sounds fantastic. It is as theatrical a mix as you could possibly hope for. It's awesome. And, right from the beginning, when Maximus is running his hands through the wheat, listen for the laughter of the children, which I don't think I had heard before. You can hear laughter moving and echoing in the channels. I just thought it was the wind in his hands through, but it's actually there's laughter, which is new. I hadn't noticed that before. And then you get to the giant battle in Germania. You get the first, listen out for the very first kind of arena fight where you've got that gladiator with looks to be like a mace, where he's swinging it like this, and it's in slow motion, and right the way around the room and in the overhead you get that whoosh sound right around, which is great. And then you get to obviously the first big fight. You get the tiger fights, the pans of the tigers across the front sound stage and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. Really good bass and a fantastic movie. And every time that Hans Zimmer score kicks in, and of course that We Are Free at the end, just fills the room. It's stunning. And if anyone who does not have this disc yet, get it. It'll be available now with the sequel out. Pick it up because it will be cheap, and it is a fantastic. For me, bear in mind, I love the movie. It's a reference disc, audio and video, for a movie that's 24 years old. Is absolutely fantastic, and I love this disc. Have you guys got the disc? I assume you have.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen the extended cut though. To be honest,
it's not as transformative as the Kingdom of Heaven one is. I mean, that movie you can't watch the theatrical version of that, but so it's not as transformative. But there are some nice little character beats in it, especially with Commodus showing what an absolute petty scumbag he is. There are a couple of very nice scenes in this that show that, and also him getting his revenge for them telling him at the beginning that Maximus had died when he hadn't, and so there's a bit of that and stuff. But it's very cool.
Yeah, I'll take a look, and I'm sure it's on the disc that I have. I just never noticed.
Yeah, yeah. There's the 4K disc came with both. Yeah. I mean, they've not done multiple editions, so it's there, and you could choose at the beginning which one you want. So yeah, it's great. I loved watching this, and I had a really great time with it. So highly recommended. Not quite my movie of the week, as we're going to talk a bit later about that, and I think you guys will know what that is. Deej certainly does, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a while. I've seen the disc. I don't even have it. I just checked. I don't even have it on Kaleidoscape yet. But it is in 4K HDR Vision, Dolby Vision. But DTS Master Audio 7.1, so it doesn't have the DTSX.
I'm surprised they haven't upgraded it. You'd have thought they would have just dropped that in.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I got a project because I want to compare, because when I've done these comparisons, I did it in Born Identity, and there are plus
Park as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That aren't in DTSX, but are in 7.1 or 5.1. And when we're up mixing it, you're like, I don't either. Sometimes I prefer the 5.1 or 7.1. And if I don't, even if I did, if I said I preferred it, it'd be it's a minor difference either way. That if you had to walk from room to room, you might be like, I don't hear anything. I don't hear a difference. You'd have, but it's like, if I can A/B it really quick and be like, it's, when I did the Atmos verse DTSX with the latest Jurassic Park movie, that's the one that I was like, I don't hear anything. And it's like, when you think you can compare, when you're like, that one's a better one. Oh, that's the one I thought it was. It's the wrong one. It's like, oh, okay. So, but yeah. I was like, it doesn't
get them both and
yeah.
take
well,
the
I have
Pepsi challenge.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to do. It is fun to do. So
yeah, but it's so cool. The movie hasn't aged a day. It's really, really good, and actually made me want to then go and rewatch the. Well, indeed, but the film hasn't. That's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was already a couple of thousand years old. But I'm assuming they shot it live. Yeah.
Shot it live.
It's
archival footage.
Yeah. Those Roman cameras were really good.
Yeah, really captured.
And they all spoke English. And how one of them could speak with an Australian accent, I just do not know. But still, these things happen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God.
It's so good. And of course,
in Spain.
was written. Some of it. Well, Malta actually. Malta is where it was shot. Yeah, all the Colosseum stuff was in Malta.
John, you want to hit this one?
Sure.
All right, moving on. This was I'm actually. All right, here we go. What?
All right, so this is the cinematic masterpiece, the new Mutants, 4K disc, Dolby Atmos. I don't know what made me watch this movie this week. I just kind of saw it on the shelf and grabbed it. I know this thing gets a lot of kind of crap, and a lot of people don't like it. I personally like this movie quite a bit. I saw it in the theaters. This is the first time watching it at home and watching it on disc. And man, this disc is great. I don't know when the last time you've watched this, but visually and audio wise, this thing is really, really good. I mean, the audio track on this, the Dolby Atmos, is fantastic. Again, I don't know that I'd go so far as to call it a reference disc, because everything we watch can't be reference anymore. Right. but it is very, very good. Visually, again, the picture quality, the HDR, just really solid disc. And a fun movie. Like I said, I'm kind of sad that this never got a chance to go anywhere. I mean, obviously very troubled production. This thing came out in the midst of all the talk of the sale of Fox to Disney, and was it ever going to come out, and what was going to happen with it? And
it also came out right at COVID too, right? One of the first movies to hit the theaters to actually go back.
I believe it came out in 2019. So that would be.
Was it?
I thought it was. Maybe it was 2020. I don't know, but that would be early COVID. That would be right around early COVID.
Yeah.
And so, lots of things went against this movie. But I think it's a lot of fun. And I really wish we would have gotten a chance to see these characters go. And you know what? Who knows, right? If they can bring, no spoilers, but if they can bring a bunch of characters back in Deadpool versus Wolverine, there's nobody saying they can't bring some of these characters back. I mean, these actors are young enough to still come on and continue to do these roles, because some of them were very well cast. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic, it was great. What's her name? Sansa. It was great. So, Cannonball, they could have done a better job with him probably, but I guess it's if you get one, you're going to get them all, right? Because I don't think they recast if they intend to bring these characters back. But anyway, that's all waxing on about things that don't matter. Like I said, if you don't have this disc,
show, John.
Well, but I'm just saying,
it's the whole show.
If you don't have this disc, it's dirt cheap. I mean, just for the the experience of it is worth the 10 or $11 or whatever it's going to cost you to pick it up. And it's a lot of fun. And like I said, it is a great disc. So
yeah. Steve at in the chat saying 11/17/2020 is when it came out. So it was like right in the fall when theaters were allowing and people were
right. So it was probably one of the
back.
Might have been the first thing I saw going back in the theater.
I think Tenet was the first, and that was in September of that year.
Yeah. It was either this or wasn't
it was something else.
Didn't Venom come out around that time as well?
Yeah.
Maybe Venom was the first movie I went back for, and then this was the second, but I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know.
So,
like I said, it's really fun. For Michael, for $15 on Kaleidoscape, it's worth it. Like I said, it's a great audio video experience, even if you don't love the movie. Like I said, I do, but
it's one of my
I won't say I love it.
Discs.
I would say I love it, but it's great.
Yeah, it's one. Like I said, it was one of my HDR test discs.
Really?
And oh yeah, because the opening scene. It's a great push play opening scene too.
Right.
With the explosions, the bass, the bear, the entire thing.
Really dark.
Yep, it's very dark, and the test that I use. This is one of the scenes I've always gone back to. Foundation was a big scene, but this one here in this is when she hides in the tree, when her dad puts her in the tree.
Right.
Notice that scene there. It's like what I was getting is all blocking around her because it wasn't able to. It's such a drop off in light from her face to the black that's around her and the shadows that are around her, and it's just.
On the ching ching.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, if you don't love it, charge it to DJ.
No, but it's
charge it to DJ.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's like the entire movie is like that for HDR. It's a great HDR disc because of you got brights dropping into deep blacks really quickly. But that opening scene with the flames and everything, explosions. But when she goes in there, it's all around her. It's like anybody listen. If you put this, especially if you have a projector, you'll see it's like. You'll get that blocking around there because it just can't handle it, and it's. And this is what I was doing. So I had at the time my Zapiti and I had my Panasonic. All right. So the 820 will optimize it for your projector, and it'll say, and that would smooth it out. It'd be perfect. It would look great.
Right.
But when you get the full thing through the Zapiti where there's no compensation for that, you're getting full on, and it couldn't handle it. It was blocking like crazy. So I was like, how do I solve this? And this was one of the movies. So, but then throughout the movie, the audio, that pool scene later on is insane. I just watched this recently because I was messing with
did you?
A couple of weeks. I almost put it in the Halloween show. But yeah, it is a great, I mean, there's some echoing, like you said, the echoing, but that pool scene, the horror aspect of this, it's really, really good movie for what it is. Right. But the home theater experience really elevates it, Steve, doesn't it?
The delivery system has an impact. Who would have thought?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's some cool Marvel deep cuts in here too. Yeah. Like if you're really a comic guy, and like I said, I really hope they pull some of this stuff into, whatever they're doing with some of the.
If you want,
whenever they bring the X-Men around.
Because I was just going to say, John, if you want more on the New Mutants, go to the Brightside chat and Google New Mutants. I think we did a whole show on it, didn't we?
We might have, yeah.
I think we did. It was especially in COVID. We were so desperate for a movie to talk about.
True, we probably got 2 or 3 weeks out of this.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's some good Marvel deep cuts that I hope they bring into the X-Men universe whenever they bring them around because. It's cool.
Yeah.
I only came to this very late. I saw this. I didn't see it in theaters. I got the 4K disc, and I went in with low expectations because of the reviews that I'd read, and but I really enjoyed it. I mean, the superhero horror movie. It's like, oh, great. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I like Multiverse of Madness so much. It's just some of this stuff is just tailor made for horror. Right. Some of these kind of origin stories are so kind of, creepy and messed up that actually, horror is its natural home. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. And again, I completely agree with what you say about the audio video. It's great. Yeah. So very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
I was glad I was glad I put it in this week because I never would have just grabbed it on my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have thought about it if I wasn't just staring at my rack of movies looking for something to watch.
Exactly.
When you have a lot of time on your hands, you just kind of stare.
Stare at the rack and just put it in. There you go. All right.
Oh, well, you know,
there you go.
Not unless you buy me a drink first.
I was going to say I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Been there, done that. All right. I'm gonna open with this one and then I'll build from here. So
yeah.
Yeah. Did you do this one, John?
I didn't do it, but I've watched this a month, 2 months ago, whenever it came out.
That's what I mean. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
unfortunately,
Netflix film, Netflix original, straight to video, The Union, 4K Dolby Vision Atmos, 1 hour 49 minutes. I'm just reading the graphic that you're looking right there. It's like
PG-13, AD.
Mark Wahlberg,
Halle Berry,
J.K. Simmons, directed by Julian Farina. Like, all right,
add to my list.
It wasn't horrible, but it was like, even like, I'm gonna go, like, it wasn't horrible. It was kind of like silly.
It's silly. It wasn't the worst. It's
no, but it wasn't. But even home theater, the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I didn't even think it was very good home theater wise.
No,
like
not like the last one. Because what was the last one he did that we talked about? Family Matters.
Yeah,
no, Family Matters.
The one where
Family Plan, right? That was better.
Yeah, that was the one where he actually. This is like the exact opposite. Right. And that one, he was a secret agent that nobody knew about. And this one, he isn't anybody, but becomes one, and nobody. Right. It was just like, I don't know if he's going through his Rolodex of things to do, and he's like putting his face. All right, let's do something with Halle Berry. Yeah, it's and even there's a part where like he's supposed to be from New Jersey, and then he's like, "Can you do your Boston accent?" I'm like, "Oh, come on, you had to put that in the movie." Like, okay, and it's like. Most of the people around the world are going, there was a difference between his Jersey and his Boston. I'm like, I was like, but it was fun. It was okay, but it wasn't one that there was really nothing to write home about home theater wise. Really wasn't awful. Didn't take me out of it, but it wasn't anything that I was just like, oh my God, the HDR or the sound was just amazing. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, one way or the other, to be honest with you, when it comes to that. But like Jordan just said, it's a fine watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's it. So there you go. All right, that's The Union. Avoid it if you must. No.
Just a quick hello, fellas, to the Spoony G.
Yeah.
He says, first time catching the show live. Podcast has been great to listen to while I'm remodeling and looking forward to watching movies in my new theater living room. So, hey, Spoony G, thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah. It's like, don't be a stranger. I like the name Spoony G. Is that the OG of spooning?
First and last time that he's dropped into these.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do we feel the need to belittle them every time they come in?
Don't say anything. They just make fun of you. Oh, geez.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Who wants to go next? I'm dying to hear about that one, but I don't know. What do we got? This one, but I don't think we should.
We'll save that one. Let's save that one.
Let's save that
we'll build to that.
We'll build to that. Who's up? You're up, Steve. What do you want?
Yeah. Just what have we got? Oh, yeah. Go on. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, then. So this is a film. I mean, you might have heard about. There's been, there's been some mention of it here and there. The 4K
only moments ago.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Yes, the 4K UHD Dolby Atmos version of Deadpool and Wolverine. Right. So now, Deej, I'm about to disappoint you and upset you. Just brace yourself, okay? And I'm glad you're over there, so you can't throw anything my way. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So you can't chuck anything at me. So okay. So on was it Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday? It might have even been Friday. I don't know, one of the days. I saw on Twitter because Disney put out a thing saying now on Disney Plus, and I was at court and I was having a long day and I had a few minutes spare, and I thought, let's just see how it looks on my phone. So on to Disney Plus I went. See, told you. Yeah, and he's on his way over.
Yeah, he's
oh, look! Oh, there's a knock at the door. Oh no, no, it's not him. He's gone. He's out. He's done. Come back. Right, there you go. Right.
Hey, John, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know what the hell?
It's got a happy ending though.
Teach a man to fish, and it just slaps you in the face with a damn fish.
with a bass.
Bass.
So
Billy Bass.
So I go onto my phone.
Go.
And onto Disney Plus, right? And I put it on, and I think, okay. And I've only got an iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? So it's an older one.
It's an inferior iPhone. Can't get any worse. When you're sitting in traffic with the windows down too.
That too. Yeah. That's it. So I watched it on my phone. I watched about 10 minutes on the phone and thought, actually, this looks quite good. Looks quite decent. It's HDR. Looks, it's fine. And I thought, I'll look forward to watching that when I get home then. So I get home. I've got the disc. I bought the disc on the day it came out. Not had a chance to watch it. In goes the disc, and surprisingly, Deej, it was a very different experience at home. Actually, much better. Go figure. Yeah,
somebody should do a show like that.
They should.
It's almost like the delivery system makes a difference.
Exactly.
Why didn't anyone mention this before?
Exactly. This should be a show for when you're done tweaking your system, where you can talk about the delivery system, how well it's tweaked and how good it sounds and looks.
So anyway, so I watched it and oh gosh, so I've seen it in the cinemas. I saw and really enjoyed it, albeit I saw it at a midnight showing that didn't begin till nearly 1 a.m. after all the adverts and the bloody trailers. So, but I still enjoyed it even at up to 3 a.m. So this is now watching it then for the first time at home. It's so good. It is so good. Everybody knows this already, but it was such fun the second time round. And now I was able to spot a few extra things that I'd missed the first time round, like the Plane, Trains and Automobiles car is in it. The chest is in it as well, which I had missed. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it turns out, Ryan Reynolds is in it. Who knew? And all this sort of stuff. And so I spotted all kinds of things. By the way, the ship from Master and Commander's in it as well. In the void is in the background
really?
too.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've got the burnt out car for Planes, Trades and Automobiles with by the way, right next to it, the trunk that Del Griffin
I didn't catch that
falls over. It's right there. It's right there. When you see it again, you'll spot it this time. And so I saw much more, but I had an absolute blast with it. It's such a fun film, and boy, oh boy, is it easy to watch. You can just kind of just let it run. You haven't got to pay any attention if you don't want to, and just really enjoy it. So it's still very, very good. And I'm going to watch this movie on my phone. No, sorry, in the cinema room, ad infinitum, over and over again. Now I remember, Deej, when you reviewed the Kaleidoscape version, I remember you saying, I think I remember this right. You said it was really, really good, but I don't think you kind of went quite to reference. I don't think. No. I think the disc is pretty close to being reference. I mean, it looks beautiful. For one, razor sharp, and actually to the detriment of some of the special effects here and there, like the bones, the bones that, or the adamantium bones at the beginning, as they come across the screen, you can see that they are quite digital and that sort of stuff. But it's razor sharp, and the test of a Deadpool movie is the mask, isn't it? You should be able to see every little stitch mark on the mask and all that. And I think in this and on the disc, that is constant. It is razor sharp. Then when you get to the audio as well, the audio on it is fantastic. Now, I ought to say, of course, potential recency bias, because I saw Gladiator II on the Friday night, very flat audio, and then watched this on the Saturday, suddenly, surround sound ahoy.
Yeah.
And so there might be a bit of that as well. But I thought the audio on this was absolutely awesome. Loads of surround sound effects, loads of overhead stuff. The bass is what he'd want. Certainly no Atmouse track here. I I thought it was pretty damn close to reference. And I thought it was an exceptional disc of an exceptional movie. I loved watching this again in Cinema George. And it's one of those films, literally, I could have just hit play again and watched it right through and been just as entertained for a second time. It's awesome. And so whilst your and my definition of the word reference is, of course, always open to discuss. I mean, because sometimes it's very fine margins, isn't it? And so that, so whether it is or not, that that's a moot point. But what it is a Disney disc that is very good indeed and should not, I think, fall foul of people going, oh, it's only a, it's not as good as a base as one of the other films I've seen. I mean, this film is awesome, and the experience is awesome. So reference or not is almost immaterial. It's just fantastic. And in fairness, I haven't seen many people saying that the disc isn't, but I just think it's great. I loved watching this again and again. As I said, I'm going to see it so many times on the iPhone, iPad, Flickr book, pop-up book, all that stuff, cassette, VHS.
And I mean, to be fair or whatever, it's when I say something like a reference disc, it would be like it's more about like the types of scenes that are showing the stuff off, right? So it's like I agree with you. It's I mean, I can't. This is one that actually I wanted to redo because with the Dolby Vision, see what the clarity would be there now, because the Dolby Vision version is like, I want to say it's like 6 gigs more of a download than the regular HDR10. And that's even, they're into this, if I remember right, they're into the 70s, and the disc is 66. So typical, Disney disc is 66. So not that there's going to be a huge difference there, but I'm like trying to see like get that little nitty gritty. But when I'm looking at like a reference, like I just mentioned New Mutants, this movie's way better. I mean, this whole movie is better, both audio and visually, than New Mutants. But New Mutants has got that that I want to reference every time.
Yeah, sequence.
If I'm testing something, that's a reference scene for me, because I know it's a hard scene to do. And for something to push your system like that, this movie, to me, falls under like kind of like Love and Thunder, like bright, beautiful. Look, I mean, it's one of the, it's an HDR extravaganza for that. But it doesn't, for me, like a reference would be like, does it push the limits of something? Does it make it harder or something like that? Does it test your system to a degree? Or is it like, for a reference disc, is it like, I don't know, name like, well, I'll talk about one in a little bit, but U571, right? That's, you listen to that and it's like from beginning to end, you're like, it's just, that's a reference. Like, all right, this is going to be, or any Nolan reference audio. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, you might not like Tenet, but oh my God, what it's going to do to your system. Right. So, but yeah, I was going to do that one 2 weeks ago, ever since I got the Dolby Vision capability. But yeah, it's such a great movie too.
Yes.
It's and it's fun. Right. So you're like, so maybe that's why, like, you're not as critical too. You're like, it's just so much fun. Like from that opening scene all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on Iris?
Watchable.
Did you pick up on
Iris?
Yeah.
But I did when I saw it. Yeah. I did when I saw it the first time, to be fair.
And it goes with the story and how it's like, the early part of, like, I know if you don't know what I'm talking about, listeners don't know, Iris from Goo Goo Dolls, which is like from what? Late 90s, 99, 2000,
98, City of Angels was out, so it'll be...
all right, yeah. Oh, I didn't know the movie.
First of all, we heard it with that, but yeah.
Yeah, and the opening part where they play it, it's foreshadowing the scene later in the movie where it comes up again. And you're like, and it's almost like when they play it later in the movie, it's just to get you to go, oh, this is what they were saying at the end. It was really cool. So... and for a movie like this that's supposed to be fun and funny, it's a comic book movie comedy, and then they throw a deep cut in like that, you're like, ooh, that kind of hit me. But yeah, always a blast with I like Ryan Reynolds. John, you're not a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds, right?
Oh no, I am.
Oh, I thought for some reason you were like, oh no, it was Will Smith.
No, that's Will Smith. And Will Ferrell.
To be fair, you've always been that. Yeah, I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan either, but I mean, no, I like him.
I mean, I don't love Ryan Reynolds, but I mean, I like him a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's a star.
But he's one of my, he's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool indeed. Very, very good. Just good. Guys in the chat. So Michael Doherty saying, I agree. Reference audio on Kaleidoscape. So amazing bass and immersion. I nearly said bass. I've got the fish thing on my head again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then reference to U571. So Michael then says again, we need a 4K Atmos release of U571. Well, there's a 4K version over here, which we talked about a while back, which I then compared to the Blu-ray, and that is fantastic track on that. So well worth it. But there we go. But yeah, so Deadpool Wolverine, great fun, but still not my movie of the week. still not coming.
Coming soon. There we go. All right, John, you ready for this?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Oop.
All right, so this would be Arcane Season 2, dropped on Netflix over the last 2 Saturdays. Seems like they're doing 3 episodes a week for 3 weeks. So the last 3 will drop this coming Saturday. But yeah, this is Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all the stuff you would expect from Netflix. I know you talked about Season 1 last week, the 4K disc. This is not that. Unfortunately, it's not the 4K disc, but it is very good. For a streamer, it's an animated show, so visually it looks fantastic. It's razor sharp. I mean, 4K animated just always looks kind of a cut above, I think, anyways. And the audio here is very, very good. Story-wise, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know quite as much as Season 1, but I am enjoying it a lot. I don't know. I maybe need to watch it again because I'm not quite sure exactly where we are and what's happening with everybody and how we got to where we are. But yeah, if you watched Season 1 and you enjoyed it, this is a no-brainer. You should be watching it. If you didn't, and Steve didn't convince you last week to watch Season 1, I guess I'm here to reinforce the idea that you should, because it's awesome. This is based on League of Legends video game, for those that don't know, but you don't have to have any knowledge of that. I certainly did not going into this, and it hasn't mattered a bit. So, I don't know, Steve. You said are you up to episode 6 as well, or
no? Only 2. I've only managed to get 2 because of movie of the week, which took up my last 2 nights. But yeah, no, this. So I'm 2 episodes into Season 2, and yes, I waxed lyrical last week about the 4K release of episodes of Season 1. This is not in 4K, of course, is it? It's in HD. It's 1080p.
Oh, true. You're right. I did. I said it was 4K, but it's not.
Yeah, I had that when I saw the first series. I thought on Netflix, I thought, it's got to be 4K.
Well, because it looks like it.
It does, exactly.
And I mean, the Dolby Vision helps, I guess. But now that I'm looking at it clearly says HD right there.
Yeah.
So
it's like Terminator Zero. They seem to do this kind of like Netflix do that quite a bit.
It looks great.
It does. It does. Yeah. So I'm 2 episodes in. It does look great. However, I would say even on a tiny 75-inch screen, there is a noticeable difference between the 4K disc and the 4K. Then the 1080p. Sorry, I'm doing it now.
Yeah, but isn't one of them the stream though? Like, there's
exactly
noticeable difference between 4K stream and a 4K disc.
Yeah, quite well. That's it. There's just the picture stability is noticeably different. There's definitely some shake in the stream that's not on the disc. But that notwithstanding, it is still a fantastic presentation of it, and it's because it's so stylized. And I now know, by the way, I didn't know last week, the animation style has its own name. It is Fortiche, French. Fortiche is the name of the company that does it, and that they actually have the patent on this particular type of animation. So it's called Fortiche. No, it says it at the beginning too. I know, that's how I know. It says Fortiche, designed by Fortiche. So it still looks amazing, and the character design is so good that the animation just brings it out. I really like the audio though. It is in Atmos. So again, it's odd, isn't it? 1080p, but Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, but no 4K. It's odd. I just find that weird. But anyway, it is decent. I mean, at the beginning, first episode, you've got a storm comes rolling in. Yep. So you've got thunder all in the overheads. In the second episode, there are fireworks, which are going right up and above in the overheads. And there's some really decent surround on this. So I think season 2, when it hits disc, should be something very special indeed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of them, and I'm going to devour the rest of this as soon as I can, because I think it's great. Did Greg get the set in the end each? Because I know he was ordering season 1.
I don't know if he's got it in yet. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know he ordered it right during the show, but I didn't know. I don't know.
Hopefully it doesn't take 3 years for season 2 to hit disc,
Oh, man. Yeah, I hope so. I hope not, as it were. Although there's so much coming out at the moment, if it does take 3 years, that'll be fine.
True, right? Money-wise, I'm not buying anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
this is a good example of HDR is the most important part, not the 4K. Right. Not the 4K, because especially like Steve, like you said, like on your, I know you were joking, like tiny 75-inch screen. It's like if I put up if you put up a 4K screen, like literally, like you could see all the pixels, and then you put a 1080p screen and sat in your seat, you wouldn't be able to see the lines. You wouldn't know the difference. But that HDR, that gradation, that high dynamic range is way more important. You can see, your eyes are going to see that regardless of the pixels, how whatever the resolution of the pixels. That's the most important part is the HDR. And I think it's nice that Netflix is getting around to this, because they're probably saving a lot of bandwidth by reducing the amount of, pixels, reducing the resolution, but still giving you that HDR.
Yeah. I mean, it does still look really good. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad.
Well, like I said,
it suffers by comparison. Yeah. Quite. Yeah, and I didn't either. As I said, I was surprised, as I think I said last week. And when we talked about season 1 last year, John, I think we talked
probably
about it
said the same thing.
Yeah, I was surprised. I got halfway through it and thought, because I was watching it on a smaller screen in the lounge with someone else. And then I was like, let's watch the rest in the cinema room. Let's go and put that on. And I thought, and I was looking for the 4K streams. Like, well, what the hell? What is it? My system? No, it's just HD.
Yep.
So there you go. But there we go. TSG says he's been loaned the discs for season 1. Just need to watch it. All right, TSG, let me know what you think about it. But let us know. I think prepare for awesomeness, as I like to say.
All right. I am up next, and this is an old school back. This was interesting.
Oh,
my buddy.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way actually either. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so for people on Friday watching this or listening to this, we're talking the original Men in Black from 1997, starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. And yeah, so this one had Dolby Vision. I was like, let me try this one out and see what it is, how it looks. And I want to say, other than a handful of like maybe some darker scenes that had a little bit of grain in them, this disc is like this. It was unreal how good it looked. Like I was stunned. Men in Black. I said Men in Black.
Yes, no. It's a Sony.
Oh, I thought you said. I did. Did you say?
Sorry,
the
not
title?
Yeah, sorry. No, it's a Sony title, so it will.
I know. It was. I mean, the suits look. I mean, you could feel like the turn on the lapels and stuff. You could feel like it felt like you could touch everything. But Tommy Lee Jones, I forget the scene. I wanted to stamp it, but I was just so engrossed in the picture quality of this movie from 1997 of all things that I was like, this is insane. But Tommy Lee Jones' face in one of the later scenes in the movie where they had a close up on him and just the detail that you got. And then they went to Will Smith and he was clean shaven, but you could still see all the details of their faces and stuff. And with all the special effects, that's one of the things you did notice. Is like, so they'd have a shot of them talking, and then all of a sudden they're going in the conversation that you knew a special effects scene was coming, because all of a sudden the entire screen, it changed the tone, right? Like it didn't have the same depth of, or the same vibrancy of colors and stuff, because now we've got to do something that they couldn't do back in 97. But I'm sure back in 97 it looked great on DVD and Laserdisc. But now when you see that it's not, it's not a Sharpie on a shark, but it is, for I'd say 95% of this movie looks absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I don't know, maybe it's the last time I watched this, I hadn't like upgraded practically everything in my theater. So it's been a while. And now seeing, I was like, I never remember this disc looking this good. It was absolutely stunning. Highly recommend. And you got to be able to get this for pretty cheap now, no? It's like,
I would think. I don't have it, but you probably can. I'll take and check.
Audio wise, Atmos, it was great. I can't say it was as good as the picture was to me. It wasn't as impressive, but it had great bass. My, harmony lit up a few times during the movie, not as much as one we're going to talk about in a little bit. But great surround sound, great overhead usage, in specific scenes that, from like you got the ships coming in over later, spoilers, the spaceships in this. But it really, really, really good. I wouldn't say it's a reference disc for sound, maybe because I was so like enamored with the picture, but I would definitely grab this as a disc to check out the full capability of your display, because this thing, it pulls it all. And then I actually kind of do like the fact that some of the scenes go a little bit less because of special effects, or it's a darker scene and it wasn't good, because then you get to see the actual quality. You'll see that difference, and you don't actually get used to that full awesome quality the whole time, and you get that dip and go, oh, okay. And then when it comes back, you're stunned. I'm talking so much I forgot to change it to can't see us. There we go.
Yeah,
it's just been the graphic the whole time.
I say, just FYI, the 3-movie set is $26 on Amazon. So
oh wow,
$8 a movie. You can't really get any.
I think you changed the audio, John, too.
Did that?
Yeah, it went from your microphone to probably something else. It sounds like you're in a closet all of a sudden.
I didn't touch anything, but I mean,
wasn't accusing you.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's not recognizing my mic for some reason. Let me. All right, I'll unplug it. Hold on.
Yeah, no biggie. But yeah, when was the last time you saw this, John? Oh, Steve, sorry.
I've got the 4K disc of this. I've seen it. I mean, not recently, but I have certainly seen it of late. And again, it's a Sony disc. I try and hoover up all the Sony discs I can when the movie's good. And the first one is good. The second one is not good. I only saw that once in the theaters, and that was enough for me. And then I've got 1 and 3 in 4K, and I think both are really good. But it looks as though they are. Yeah, see that. But it looks as though they are out of print over here because it's £40. Go on, say again, John.
Same audio.
I'm sorry. Is it better?
Yeah, no, same again, mate. Yeah. And so it has a it's £40 for the Men in Black single disc. So I'm assuming that's a an eBay inflated price, as it were. But Jordan says, so Men in Black here in the UK, the 4K disc is the only physical release which has got the uncut 12 rated version. All the rest are the censored PG ones. So there we go. But I think we've got to bring in Mike on this one.
Yeah.
Go.
You automatically get in on that. Any super chats, automatic. So Michael comes in with a $10 super chat, and he says, a bit off topic. And by the way, thanks, Mike, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Going to Movember. He says, a bit off topic, but we'll change it for him. He says, there's an amazing Atmos demo scene at the beginning of the second Harry Potter movie where Harry and Dobby are upstairs stomping around in Harry's room. A must see, guys. I remember that scene. It's like, we did the Harry Potter movies over on chat with Meg, as a matter of fact. She sat in with us and Dr. Joe. And yeah, the whole Harry Potter series has a lot of great scenes, demo scenes. Another reference scene, like I talked about earlier with New Mutants, is the first Harry Potter, and the lantern and what is it, an owl that's flying in that opening scene or something? But that backdrop, the night sky, the lantern, everything, that's a really tough scene for HDR. But yes, this one here that Michael's talking about is really, really good as well. So yeah, great. Do you remember those scenes?
Well, how's the mic?
Yeah,
Great.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Nailed
back.
It.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure before I started.
You're
talking.
back.
You ask it. Yeah, I mean, I've only ever seen these movies on streaming. I don't own the discs of any of the Harry Potter movies, so can't really speak to the
DTSX.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about them on chat, it was more story driven than it was about the quality of the movies. So,
yeah, I'm on record as only having seen the first one in the cinema. That was more than enough for me, and I have never seen any of the others. And I have, bearing in mind, J.K. Rowling grew up 2 minutes that way from here where I live, but literally 2 minutes. But no. The first one was enough for me. It was like root canal surgery. I do not need to see any of the others.
Steve?
I like them, but I don't know.
No, I get it. I
don't know that I'll buy them now, but
I'm in the minority of one. I know
no,
that.
You're not. Steve, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I did not. I saw
DJ didn't really love them.
I didn't love the movies. I was just like, I wasn't into it. But as a home theater experience, because we did it on, like I said, John and I were like, we'll do this on chat, and we brought in Dr. Joe, he does a comic books podcast as well. He loves the series, read the books, knew all this. Meg read the books, loved the series, so we had them.
Yeah, we were just tagging along for the.
Yeah, we were tagging along them and I was bringing the home theater part of it, and there is some absolute demo material all the way in every movie, all the way through this series. And there was one, John, what was it, the second to last movie, or maybe the third to last?
Well, whatever, the last movie's in 2 parts, right?
Yeah.
So
Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. But there's one scene that is almost like a lightsaber battle. The way it's dark there, I can't remember what they were doing, but it's awesome. It is really, really good. So, I didn't regret going through that series. And we broke up. We actually never did the last movie.
We didn't. Yeah.
No, we never did. We never did the last movie, but
we left all our tens of listeners hanging.
Yeah. But when we were doing the second to last movie, part 1, Dr. Joe thought we were doing both, and he started throwing spoilers. And so I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. He goes, oh my God, I spoiled it. It's like,
that's true. I remember that.
So the 2 topics trending on Twitter right now then are release the haircut and complete Deathly Hallows, please. Brightside chat.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Actually, Paul Hurt says, okay, see, this is what I like. We are in a safe space.
Yeah,
I can confess all, and it's supportive. That's what I like to hear. So Paul says, you're not alone, Steve, essentially. Said the first Harry Potter is one of only 2 movies I've seen in the cinema that I wanted to walk out of. Well, that's the thing, Paul. I did. I walked out. I went across the road. I went to a cash point. I balanced my checkbook. That'll tell you how long ago it was. I went back in. The usher was sat on the steps of the theater playing a Game Boy. Again, tells you how long ago it was. And he was very good. Let me mess around on Tetris for a bit. I went back into the screen, and there was still another hour to go. It was interminable. So yes, I simply cannot do those movies. And it's not like The Fifth Element, because I've seen that and didn't like it. I just have a mental block when it comes to Harry Potter or anything, and I just can't bring myself to see them. There's too much cool stuff out there. But but that does not mean that I get it. People love them. That's fine. Funnily enough, we were in Los Angeles at Mann's Chinese Theatre when the very first one hit, Philosopher's Stone. I think it was it over there, Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone?
Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone.
And while we were there, while we were outside, there were film crews interviewing, news crews interviewing the people, because it was the opening weekend. And they were interviewing all the little kids as they came out, and they were saying how great it was. And I was just stood there thinking, like, kill me now. But there it is. I just can't do Harry Potter. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. If I like the series, if I like the story more, I probably would, because there's a ton of home theater stuff in there. It is absolutely, it is really, really good. But yeah, I'm with you. I just never really got into it. And
the first one put me off so much with the precocious little brat kids. I mean, I appreciate they've grown into good actors, but they were so precocious drama school specials. And there's only so many times I could hear, Hermione or whatever it was, oh, Hattie. And I'm like, oh God, I want to strangle them all. And it just was not good.
They're little kids, Steve.
I know.
Exactly.
I know. No, I get that. And Paul says, he said, I would have walked out, except I thought my friend was enjoying it. Turned out he thought I was enjoying it, and we both hated it.
Oh no.
I'd gone as part of quite a large group of friends to see this bloody thing, and they'd all read the books and were all desperate to see it. And so I couldn't just leave. I would have just gone home, but I thought it was a bit rude. So I just left, went to the ATM and, played around with the Game Boy. And then
we keep talking like this, guys. We're going to get a Harry Potter poster made of us.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The three of us like,
That's going on a few. Which one of us is Hermione then? What do we say? I'll be Dobby in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Lack of hair,
Oh, speaking of that was like spoilers. That got spoiled for me on Big Bang Theory.
What's that?
About Dobby.
Oh, yeah.
They spoiled it in Big Bang Theory because he literally says it as part of the story in one of the later seasons. And I had no idea what he was talking about because the way they did it in the movie, I mean, in the show, I don't even know what he's talking about. Right. And you're like, what the heck? But then when it happens in the movie, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe because you see it coming. You're like, oh my God. And it's like, oh, but, so you wanted to go to this one, John, and then
I'll do mine. Yeah, that way.
Because I also have this one as well.
I say that way Steve can.
Steve can
bring us home.
Bring the heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
This one.
Brings the heat.
This will be pretty quick.
It will.
It'll be quick because.
Well, I'm like, oh.
Oh well. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So this is Fury on 4K disc. Again, this was Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. I say it's quick because this is reference. This disc from start to finish is a reference disc. This is unbelievable. I'm probably not breaking new ground with this. Everybody knows it. But I had never seen the disc. I've seen this movie. But again, this is a disc that I've owned for quite a while. Never got around to watching it. Pulled it out and watched it this week. And yeah, I mean, I had heard great things about it, but even with that, I was blown away by how good this was. I mean, visually, it's awesome because, again, this is one of those kind of dreary movies. There's no sunshine anywhere, but the picture is razor sharp. The colors, it looks fantastic. And the audio, I mean, these are guns. Steve, you'd probably agree.
Oh, I've got this. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
sound like, but they're guns that sound like guns should sound like, right? Like that's,
there's jump scares.
Yeah,
there are jump scares in this movie, it's just like the guns go off and you're like, you jump. I mean, it's.
So I mean, we could go on, but I could end it there and just say this is a reference disc, picture and sound, and that's it because it's great. There's nothing else that needs to be said.
And it's another Sony disc.
Yeah,
it's another one. Just it's crazy.
And
I love the bouncing
movie.
rounds.
Yeah,
I love the bouncing tank rounds. Yeah. I never knew that could happen. I never knew that was possible until we saw this. That they literally can bounce them.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah. Or like the sound though of like the ricochets, like just bounced off. I didn't know that was a thing. But this was one of the first ones I upgraded to Dolby Vision that I had, and I was like, but I did it because I was like, let me see what. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just like, all right, I'll get the Dolby Vision version as opposed to the HDR. But you go into it, and I literally was thinking. That's why I mentioned U571 earlier. This is like the tank version of U571. The entire movie is like, you can't wait to get to the next scene, but at the same time, the story of this isn't what you think it is if you've never seen it. It's it's not your feel-good movie. It has a great story arc to it, has a great story, character development, has all of that. I mean, a great character development, and some of them are only on screen for like 5 minutes. And then there's one over there and one over there. It's like, I mean,
a piece of them over there.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly tense at times as well. I mean, you get large scale room destroying action, but then gets incredibly tense sort of interpersonal scenes. I mean, that breakfast table scene is just like, it just is really hard to watch in exactly the right way.
Well, and I'd forgotten, again, I hadn't seen it in a while. I'd forgotten some of the cast. I mean, we all know Brad Pitt was in it.
John Bernthal.
I'd kind of forgotten John Bernthal.
He's great in this.
What's his name?
Shia LaBeouf.
Transformers guy,
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Yep. I kind of forgot they were there, and they were great too. Even, oh man, I'm bad with names all of a sudden. The Hispanic guy.
I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Really good. The Ant-Man guy. What's his name?
I know. I know. Gosh. Well, he's worked with David Ayer before.
Somebody in chat could help me. That's Michael
Pena,
right?
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena.
Yeah.
There you go.
What up, Dave? Between the two of us.
Yeah, he was really good too.
Yeah.
But great
Stop
cast.
throwing darts against the wall, Steve.
And then like you said, Steve, that scene in particular was super hard to watch.
Well, that first tank battle scene and the tree line, I was like, I don't remember it looking like a laser battle. And how
the
tracer rounds, they're red, green, like different colors. I was like, what the? It was insane. I was like looking at something out of Star Wars, but it was, I mean, just the depth and the vibrancy of those colors and how fast. And they're like, and then to think like, I know this stuff, but when you're seeing it put like, kind of like a Platoon type movie, or anything that brings like the reality. But then when they tell you like, you have a tracer round, and it's a throwaway comment early in the movie. You have a tracer round every 5 rounds. So it's like you're seeing them go, and like there's 4 more in the middle, just so you know it's there. So it's like an airborne chainsaw, like just watching what's going on, and but that to me is what really, I hate to say that, use the term, jumped off the screen, was those tracer rounds. And throughout them, whenever, and then every time it happened, I was like, "Oh my god, here we go again! Looks like lasers." It was insane. Yeah. It looked so good. The other part was Brad Pitt's face and the scarring.
Yeah.
And early on in the movie, he's filthy, right? And you're like, you could see like, all right, I see what they're doing there. They use the filth to create the scarring and stuff. And you're looking at it, and like from an artistic point of view, like, how did they do that? Because that's not what he has on his face, right? Then later in the movie, if you have seen the movie, if you haven't, whatever, he cleans up. Right. Scars, it looks fantastic. I mean, now you see this great clean face, but those scars are perfect, and it's there, and it's the detail that you pull out of it is just. I went into this like, we all love the audio, and like John said, it's a reference from beginning to end, and. That's the one where my Harmony remote, it just wouldn't stop. It was like Pacific Rim, like, brr, brr. All right. I had to put it down next to me because it was distracting, because it's just lighting up too much. But the picture on this is absolutely just next level. Way more than I thought I was getting when I was like, all right, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost monochromatic at times. It does it deliberately.
Yeah.
This is one where the HDR, other than the tracer round bits where it all comes to life, it's almost like they use the HDR to actually flatten the image to actually remove the color and give you the dynamic range in terms of black and white rather than the ultra sort of color. But it's such a good film. And another David Ayer movie, by the way.
They bring the saturation out of it. But if you notice, the flames, when they go, those things are vibrant. Right. Yeah. So nothing more vibrant than the end, how they use the flames there to distract at the end scene, at the end battle. But even early on, the explosions, the depth of color, the vibrancy in there. So it wasn't like they just literally flattened it. It was like like you said, it was dark, dreary, overcast. That was the look you got. And it felt like the whole scene would be like that until you got the tracer rounds, until you got explosions. And now your eyes are like, which to me, that's how you utilize HDR, right? Yeah. And this was made, was it made before HDR? When was this made? This is 2013, 14?
Yeah,
13.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
But it is just beautifully done, beautifully told, awesome sound. I mean, it's just, I'd already upgraded it on my Kaleidoscape, but then I saw John put it in. I'm like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Like,
Time to watch.
Gotta go. Like,
That's a great film.
like,
Great
yeah,
film.
absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. Now, is that it for this week? Is that all we got? I mean,
They can do.
Yeah, we're done. So, I mean, we only got 9 minutes left. And,
Yeah, see, that might not be enough time.
Yeah.
That'll get the title done.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay. Right then, brace yourselves, ladies and gents. This is the film someone will have heard of, I'm sure. The Terminator, 1984.
Oh.
In a brand spanking new, all singing, all dancing, not literally, of course, it's not the musical.
Yeah.
4K UHD Dolby Atmos sporting disc. Now, so the movie, it's great. We don't need to go into the movie. Let's not waste time on that. We all know that's amazing.
Yeah.
One word, fellas. Wow. There we go. Done. See you next week.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, it's absolutely the disc you dreamed that Terminator would be. And honestly, guys, Deej in particular, because I know obviously this is your very much your thing, but I know we're saying with you, John, it is transformative. You've never, ever experienced Terminator even close to this before. It's stunning. And probably the best thing I can say about it for me is this looks and sounds like a group of people decided we're going to do a sci-fi movie and we're going to set it in the 80s, but they shot it this week because that's now how it looks and how it sounds. It is awesome. And right from the very beginning, as soon as that first HK comes over the which always look like very fake skulls because they're only little models, aren't they? They're only tiny. But as it comes over, the base on that now it feels like this ginormous machine, exactly what you'd want it to be. When you get the opening credits, get ready for your room to fill with that music, the music we all love, and it just fills the room and surrounds you with sound. It's like you're in a massive auditorium. And then you get the opening, the battle sequence, obviously, those laser bolts now that, funny enough, you're just talking about laser fire. Yeah. They now go front, left, rear, right, front, right, rear, left. The HKs go right over the top of the screen. It feels, it's got the same kind of impact that it has in T2. Because it always sounded a bit fake on the phone. Not anymore. The Atmos track fixes that entirely. And then the image quality is awesome. The detail levels are off the charts. So you get, and I put some pictures up on Twitter. Anyone wants to go and see it, then you can see the ones on there. But you talk about Brad Pitt's face. You talk about Tommy Lee Jones. You can now see every pore on Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. You can see the guy that gets his heart ripped out and dropped on the floor. There's a shot of his face, so he's dead. And you can see every little mark on his face. It is fantastic. And in fact, I think this is already an evolution beyond what we got with Aliens and The Abyss. It's a similar process they've used to remaster this, but it is clear to me that this has been done in a different way, because this looks better than even Aliens and The Abyss that I personally loved. I thought they looked great, and this is better than that in terms of how they've done it. It is a transformative experience. Buy this, guys. It was £20 here, 19.99. They haven't tried to stiff us with a with a ridiculous costing release. You've never seen Terminator, guys. You haven't heard it until you've seen this. And I do not say that lightly, because I know you're both fans. DJ, I know you're an uber fan of this. Yet you haven't seen the film. All right, and I know it sounds stupid. I promise you haven't seen it yet.
Ironically, it's like, not ironically, but yeah, I just $24.99 over here on Amazon.
Yeah, it's $25 on Amazon.
Yeah, I just grabbed it. It's going to be here Thursday. I keep checking Kaleidoscape because they should be upgrading, because it's through the studio, right?
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, so it should be getting. But I'm like, I'm not waiting. I'm not. It's like
I was saying to someone earlier today who was asking about it, a friend of mine, and you know, we grew up with the Orion Pictures release logo. You know, the O comes in over the star field and it says Orion Pictures release.
Yeah.
And that always looked hokey and flat and kind of, you know, kind of silly, because the movies usually were hokey and flat and silly. Somehow they kind of went hand in glove. But you know, this release is going to be good right from the beginning when you see that, because one, the O is bright white. It's not kind of gray like it very often is. And it almost feels as though there is now a 3-dimensional separation between the Orion Pictures and the star field behind it. So straight away, I was like, this is going to be good. And then the movie begins. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to love this.
You know what I'm looking forward to is the, for people out there that have never seen this movie, one of the scenes that always fascinated me, it was long before T2 came out, was that end scene in the Jeep. And then looking at I'm hoping, I don't know why, I'm just hoping that I get kind of the same effect we got with Twister, and that you get the ominous clouds in the distance and you get that gradation in the sky and but it's like, I've seen that scene so many times as a kid, not because of the picture and everything. I mean, that is part of it. But that's that part that always just captivated me as a kid, and like that mind, like screwing with your mind, where you're like, she says it. She's like, this stuff can drive you crazy. Like, if I don't do this, I don't do that. It's like, it's that loop. And it's that, to me, is what I think that's what made this movie what it is like that. It's one thing. It's it's an epic sci-fi classic. Right. But it's that end scene where she summarizes it that I think for a lot of people in the 80s, when you heard that, you were like, wait a minute, if they and like, it just baffled you that and you had to see it again. And now they're going to do a T2, and you start hearing rumors of that in the 80s where we had no internet. Like, you know, it was just, that's the whole entire thing to me.
Yeah, the scene at the end is, you will see much more detail in that scene than before, and it's much warmer as well. It looks really nice. When you see the shot of her driving into the storm that's coming, you can see that it's an effect more than you could before. I think it does stand out a little bit more now, but you do get a nice audible kind of rumble of the storm coming, which I hadn't noticed before. That's much more pronounced now in this mix. But the whole thing just looks fantastic. I mean, the blue, you know, Cameron's favorite blue colors, you know, his cool blues of a nighttime, metallic, never look better than it does here. It just looks phenomenal. And okay, the puppet stands out more with the eye, of course. I mean, it's going to, but then when it cuts away from that,
remember I did it because I've done this as a standalone. When he takes the X-Acto blade and he picks it up and he goes to put it in his eye, and when they get closer, you see there's no blade in the handle. And it's like, you can see that on the Blu-ray. It's like, it's like, you could take that X-Acto blade out, and he's like, he goes to put it in, and I'm like, there's no knife end on it. There's nothing there.
I don't think he was about to risk that. Was he going anywhere near his face? But what you do get, so the puppet looks as fake as ever. The puppet looks as fake as ever, but then when it cuts to then a side reverse shot of him, and then all the paws on his thing, the little bits of hair, you can see the little wispy bits of hair that are down the side of his face. All that is razor sharp. Honestly, I don't think I can oversell this. I mean, this is the movie of the week, because it's just, you've not seen this movie, you've not heard this film until you see this edition of it.
Are we going to have a debate on, between this and Twister? Which is the bigger upgrade?
Remaster.
I gotta see. I gotta see. This is let me see it. I'm gonna see it this week for sure. And we're gonna. I want to debate that, because I want to see which means more and which is like. It is. I already have an opinion, but I got to see this one too. And it's like, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I think where Twister might have the edges in terms of its scale. Because
I'm going to save my opinion for next week. I already have. I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now next week. But I'll tell you, I was like, I have an opinion already. And it's funny because it's like, all right, I'm thinking I'm going to lean one way, but who knows? I don't know.
It's so good.
Let's do that next week.
So good. Yeah. All right, we will do. I can't wait to see what you think of it. Then let me know. Text me because I can't wait until next Tuesday. So you'll have to tell me what you think of it so I know. But yeah, this is what you always wanted this to be without knowing that it could look and sound this good. It's very, very good indeed.
Oh my God.
So there we go.
Can't wait for Thursday. I got a game. Am I skating late Thursday or early Thursday? I can't remember. All right. Either way, I'm getting this in. I'm skating Thursday. I don't remember if it's 8 or 10. Here we go.
All right, but there we go. Very good. Very
good.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, Steve's gonna get out of here. I've got to get out of here. I've got a party to get to, a birthday bash, if you will, to get to. Happy birthday again. But yeah, so yeah, thank you everybody watching, listening. People on Friday, please go to YouTube. A lot of great graphics and a mustache. and mine, because John's always sporting. So.
Yeah, it's nothing new for me.
Please take a second here for Movember. We've only got 2 weeks left. Give till it hurts. John, why don't you talk it up? You're the money man.
Oh, man.
Get people to give. I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say.
All right. Bring it next week because this is last 2 weeks. Next week's is the last show. But yeah, get your entries in. Take a look in the links in the show notes to all the giveaways or the raffles that we're doing, the great artwork that Paul's working on, the remotes that we have available. 2 remotes are available, SVS SB 1000 Pro, Kaleidoscape discounts. I mean, people are stepping up for us, and it's like, please give till it hurts for Movember. We're trying to get Ryan Davies' number way up there this year. He's doing a great job on his own, but if the more people I can get involved, the better we are.
The more better.
The better we are. Yeah. Depted.
Yeah.
All right. We got to get out of here. Have a great week, everybody. Till next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play.
What he said. It is right.
Hey, Fred. This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.